awkward. All right, I said this. I teased this going into the break, and this has made me a couple things this week has made me wonder about this, and this is the first time we talked about it. So Troy Dannon on his radio show last Tuesday said we got to raise money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, you're Nebraska. Everybody donates. GBR, and here's Warren's cash. But Nebraska does need to. They got to raise some money. Got some big projects, but they also need to find, the Jimmies of the world that are going to donate some cash to old GBR. There's a lot of discussion about Nebraska men's basketball, what the NIL pool looks like. Now, the coach has got to say, hey, we're going to use this, this, and this. But we don't know how big Nebraska's NIL is for men's basketball. There's some reports out there. There's some rumblings that it's not that large. You don't have as big a suitcase compared to other schools. Mm-hmm. And then there is something that Matt Rule said. We like to go, man, that guy is Nebraska. He is out there. He's a man of the people. He's drinking Woodford Reserve on his place out in Waverly while he waves at everybody driving by. He comes to be on stage with Zach Bryan. He's everywhere. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons that he does that, which is weird to hear from a Nebraska football coach, is he's talking about the brand.
Yep.
We're talking about the brand. A couple of things this week made me wonder how, and I'm almost crazy for saying this out loud because Nebraska football puts $90K in a stadium. Nebraska volleyball is going to play in Kearney tomorrow against Denver, and it's going to be wall-to-wall people. Haymarket Park, attendance is great. Other sports, attendance is really good. People are wearing gear. How strong is Nebraska's brand? In-state. Not out of state, but in-state.
I'd say fairly strong. I feel like it's strong, yeah.
So let me go.
I would think so.
So let me go a step further. Now, this is just me like speculating and just wondering, being the curiosity. Is Nebraska's brand, I think, will always be strong outstate. You get outside of Omaha and Lincoln, it is GBR from here to the heavens.
Mm-hmm. Which was I was picturing.
Stonehenge, I actually have GBR on it. It says GBR.
It's on Mount Rushmore, above Washington's head.
As you cross the Wyoming border into Nebraska.
So I've lived in both Omaha and Lincoln. And Lincoln, and you're around it every day. Mm-hmm. Heck, you might drive by the stadiums all the time. I mean, it's there. It's present.
Yeah.
In Omaha, we don't drive by Memorial Stadium every day in Omaha. Like, you don't drive down Farnham unless you confuse Warren Buffett's house with Memorial Stadium. And some might, how crazy you are.
Especially today.
But maybe this is a better discussion about how strong is Nebraska's brand. Out of state, we all in agreement that it is strong. And it's probably going to be strong forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lincoln.
I mean, I would say so, but you hesitate.
Yeah, I feel it's strong.
Yeah,
I do.
Okay, so here's the better question. And, there have been numerous athletic directors that have tried to open the door to get some money here in this town, in Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
To not a rousing success of new donors. And I feel because the guys that have gone through in trying to raise money for Nebraska athletics in Omaha are people that live in this community that are pretty well known.
Mm-hmm.
So it theoretically should go well.
So how strong is Nebraska's brand in Omaha, the largest city in the state?
Not as strong as Lincoln, not as strong as obviously your rural communities, because you also have other competition, if you will, jockeying for your attention.
Having success.
Yeah, I mean, it's comparable to Creighton, comparable to UNO. It's still not, in my opinion, all that comparable.
Well, shouldn't it be though? I mean, it should be. This is the Big Ten. This is Nebraska. This is the beast. I'm talking about Omaha out of the Summit League or Creighton out of the Big East. Mm-hmm. This is Nebraska. This is the Big Ten. This is GBR. This is $90K on Saturday.
At some point,
I'm not jumping on you, but you kind of get what I'm doing.
Absolutely, I do. At some point, now this doesn't apply to volleyball, but at some point, when we're having this conversation, we're talking about the ultimate presence of football. in my opinion, at some point, success matters.
What about
And
6 months from now if they're 6-3 and
Now, we definitely are more critical in Omaha than in Lincoln,
yes,
in the media.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
there's proof of this.
I think very good. I think that the fortunes of the football program have allowed people to not forget about Nebraska football or the brand itself, but also ask the questions of, if I am to put in a lot of money, am I 100% confident that it is going to be going into a winning product? And I also have a school down in 60th and Dodge that isn't asking for as much money, but has shown that, they're doing some things within their conferences that are showing success. There's another school downtown that is continuing to have success with its basketball programs that I feel like I can feel good about that investment as well. To me, and maybe I'm looking at this in completely the wrong optics. To me, I think success matters when you do have some other options for your investment if you are a backer of collegiate athletics in this state.
Okay. Big Ten school. The school. The state school.
We are Nebraska City. We are not a Big Ten city.
What do you mean?
I don't think there's that Big Ten pride. If we were in the Big 8, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, I don't think that matters here. I think it's about Nebraska.
So you're saying the brand in Omaha went down when Nebraska made the move to the Big Ten?
I don't know if it went down. I think the losing diminished but I don't think that there's this. I don't think there's this ultimate pride in not only Nebraska but Big Ten football. I don't see that in Omaha. I think it's when you have that conversation, it starts and stops with the brand as opposed to the Big Ten brand on top of that.
See, I'm going to separate. I think if you're GBR for life, you're GBR for life. You could be playing in the Atlantic Coast Conference,
right?
And you'd be confused on why in the hell would they ever make us go all the way down there and play?
But whatever. I hate Wake Forest. Let's go.
Wait till Florida State shows up this summer.
Yeah.
This is something that I've been very cognizant of living in Omaha, is I think Nebraska athletics, whether it be trying to gain new ticket holders, new donors, new interest, yes, winning matters, is they need to be better in this town, like more visible. So it kind of leads me back to Matt Rule. So Matt Rule is going to be in South Omaha tomorrow putting on a football clinic.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last football coach at Nebraska that put on a kids clinic? Now it got moved to South Omaha, but
still.
But he spends a lot of time in Omaha.
Yeah.
Recruits in Omaha. I don't think it's just that his kids go to school down the street or he's, a neighbor of ours.
He recognizes it.
I think he does recognize that where the brand needs to be stronger is in a town that has 1 million people and has a ton of young men and women that go to school in Lincoln,
mm-hmm.
and a ton of young men and women who are athletically gifted that have the opportunity to play at the University of Nebraska.
There's a part of it, and I don't know how big of a deal this is.
There's a volleyball coach that's doing the same thing, but not as, probably doesn't get as much, his pictures aren't showing up, that does a lot of stuff in Omaha.
And I think what you're getting at, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that in a way they've taken Omaha for granted. The the athletic department has maybe taken Omaha for granted of course, we've got so much coverage out that way. There's so many people that process that coverage. They know where to find us. We're going to work on more small town Nebraska. We're going to try to put ourselves into the communities that we don't have a chance to get to on a regular basis. And I bring that up because I think of, again, this is where I think this could be a minor thing, but in a way, it can give you a glimpse of maybe what the thought process was when they do the summer coaching caravans,
which they are,
and they are hardly ever in Omaha.
Well, they're coming back, and there will be a stop with the head football coach in Omaha.
And that's smart because
we got a mic for him.
But I agree with you.
I feel they've neglected
because we've both
that.
been on the network where, you're going all over the state, which is great, but you ignore the largest city. You made a good point, and I think this is something that
you take it for granted.
You do take Omaha for granted. That just because it's the largest city and we're Nebraska and we're 45 minutes away, that you're going to support them no matter what.
Right. Got to love us back sometimes.
Until you find out it's not as strong. But winning is the cure.
It's a lot of people to show some love to as well. And I always feel like as long as you remind a community like that big, that you care about them, that you want to be involved with them as much as the rest of the state, you'll get that return, but it needs to be consistent. And I don't think it has been lately.
But I think that's changing.
But I also do go back. I do go back. I'm not taking back what I said about the winning part of it. I think that also has I think it has a major role in it as well.
Let's ask this question.
So we just like winners in Omaha.
We do.
Creighton basketball starts losing. We're like, hey, Omaha, Bellevue?
Bellevue, here we go.
All right. Welcome all you Berkeys. Do you think Nebraska's brand is strong? And be like, yeah, Warren's making me a lot of money. That investment powerhouse.
Making their way downtown, getting some Fruit of the Looms.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think we've all maybe had the opportunity to go on the Saturday to the Chai and listen.
I have not actually gone to listen. I just went to the convention. I did the shopping with the wife last year.
A friend of mine said, I have a lanyard for you. And I'm like, to do what? He goes, Berkshire Hathaway weekend. And I was like, okay, I've never been. I'll go. Well, he wanted to go listen to, Warren and now the late Charlie Munger talk. I was good for about 25 minutes. I was like, where's the convention hall?
Yeah.
But there is something, because you're going to see him. And I guess good on you. They love to wear the lanyard, especially with the A.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They put that in your face.
That's right.
Like, I'm
not just a shareholder. I'm an A shareholder.
I would like to go to Borsheim's, though, to get the deals. I got some great deals at Borsheim's.
NFM's got killer deals right now.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
See, I need to
go get a couch.
Mm-hmm.
Pinball machine for the basement. Your hot dog roller.
But then it's tough because the place is just overrun by people from out of town.
Now, what NFM does right, though, they start that sale early, and I think it ends on Tuesday and Wednesday.
They give us some Omahans,
Omaha Day.
Extra?
Yes.
All right.
Like Caddy Day.
It is like
15 minutes. Pick it out. Let's go. Paperwork.
We're closing it to everybody else. You got 15 minutes. You got to get in, get out, and
do some of the steakhouses in Omaha make, let's say, 40% of their total gross for the year over this weekend?
Oh, yeah.
You guys would have to tell
me. Definitely.
Well, knowing you, Jimmy, there's one steakhouse that's on Center that I don't think you've ever been to and will never go. But even though your soul would fit right in with the people that usually frequent that steakhouse.
I get what you're cooking. I smell it. And I like it.
John writes into the Equitable Bank inbox about the Nebraska brand. Riley and especially Frost drove the Nebraska football brand into a deep ditch. I still follow the football team. I watch every game, but I gave up my season tickets and I don't miss it. It hasn't been fun to go to a game for a long time. I look forward to being able to watch volleyball matches on TV more than football games. Hopefully Rule can change that. That is from John.
I do feel I'll give I suppose I have to give Sean Icor some credit to this one too. Mm-hmm. The last time I saw Nebraska have any type of Omaha presence on those types of events, through the summer, through the slower months, Mike Riley and his coaching staff would come through Omaha every now and then for those types of, again, the car washes, the meet and greets.
Oh yeah, Mike Riley went backstage with Chance the Rapper,
and he did do that as well. It
was don't know how that impacted us here in Omaha. Not everybody got to go and hang out with Chance the Rapper.
Did it strengthen the brand?
At that point we had just no.
It was awkward. No. I feel like we're way beyond this anymore, and so forgive me for bringing it up, but I do feel like a lot of that neglect, at least on a consistent basis, was you go back to 2018. That's where I noticed there was an absence of those types of events and speaking engagements and just overall coming into the Metro to have a presence. I feel like that really came to a very screeching halt in 2018.
Well, now you have a guy that's in charge that realizes the importance of the brand statewide,
Mhm.
and most importantly, realizes the importance of that brand in this town. Because if he realizes it and brings attention to it, that person that's knocking on your door, there's like, hey, you graduated from Nebraska. I know you're a big fan. You went to a game. Would you like to? You got 100 mil anywhere around? You got any relative that's about to off themselves?
Check underneath the couches. Coach
Yeah.
Sissons, anything in there?
Mike Schaefer will not be joining us today.
We get it.
Here's the reality: is Schaefer's chosen family over the show. Not sure how that's going to go because him and I have been friends for a long time.
Known Mike since 2008.
Pay for some daycare, my man. Just kidding.
Bring him here. We have people.
He's playing father, and when you have a toddler, it is not good.
No.
He's doing some play-by-play.